Speaking of horrible things we had to fix to get the game working, Gimbal lock was one of them. I've gone over this a bit, but I'll just do a little refresher on what the main issue was. So I'll assume you guys know what Gimbal lock is. The whole, if you look upwards in a first-person shooter and then turn left, you just start spinning instead of actually rotating the right way. So the way that we fixed this was, as you can see, it was one of the very first things we ever did. Rather than enabling camera lag on the spring arm, we instead decided to create our own version. And this is the node that's key to it, quaternion interpolation. Because by default, what Unreal does is it takes a quaternion, goes into Blueprint, converts it to a Euler, lets the designer or whoever do whatever they want with it in Blueprint, and then convert it back to a quaternion. The problem is that in doing that, it kind of gets rid of all the benefits of quaternions when it comes to a gimbal lock. So what would happen would be the player would try and do a loop-the-loop, but instead of doing a full loop, they then just do a spin and then start turning downwards, or something kind of very strange. So this is our way of getting around that, where we skip the Euler conversion and just do a quaternion interpolation. Without this, the game wouldn't have really been possible, and it would be more like it's not a coincidence that the Epic Games hand glider demo you can't do a flip. Or a loop-the-loop, sorry. Whatever it's called. The other option we looked into was, before we worked out the solution, was to set the basically change the gimbal lock from the Z-axis to the roll instead, because being able to do a roll isn't quite as important as being able to do a full kind of vertical or downwards loop. But yeah, here it is. Essentially we get the transform of the player ship, set it as previous transform, get the current location, get the current rotation, and then do a lerp according to whatever our rotation lag speed is, which is very small. I don't know why I have this set to not being on tick, but I'm sure there's a good reason one way or another. So yeah, that was how we got around gimbal lock.